All right, so welcome everyone. This is our strength and conditioning class. So we'll go ahead and get started with the warm up. So, all right, let me get my activity tracker going. I like seeing how many calories burned through this workout. So, all right, we'll just warm up. So just looking left to right. It's been a minute, so we'll make sure we get a full warm up. Up and down. Yeah, so this is your first time with me. Workouts will be for this session. We usually just need a chair, some dumbbells if you have those, and if you have resistance bands, those come in handy as well. And we usually do two exercises or two lifts. Let's do some neck circles. And then we'll do a couple sets of each lift before we move on to the next set, um, or the next superset. So again, a superset would just be two movements or two lifts um, that kind of work hand in hand with each other. And then we'll move on to the next superset. So switch. So we'll try to get a full body workout doing that. And with strength and conditioning, we want to make sure that the goal isn't so much to burn as many calories as we can, but it's more of just developing some strength in our muscles, our joints, and our tendons. So let's go ahead and bring that right hand over, drop that elbow. So, yeah, so that's the goal for today. We'll have about 5 supersets. We'll do each superset about 2 or 3 times, and we'll hit most of our muscle groups, main muscle groups in our body. Hey, Ella, how are you? Switch. Got some construction going on in the neighborhood, so you might hear some noises in the background. No angels here? So reach up towards the ceiling, reach, lean to the right. Morning, Lisa. Let's lean left. Bring that right arm across. So yeah, so our first superset, we're gonna be doing some shoulder presses with our dumbbells and some rows. So shoulder press working out the shoulders, then some rows for our back. And we're gonna do 2 sets of that superset. So and remember, we're aiming for about 10 to 12 repetitions. Switch. So hopefully you have a variety of dumbbells. But if you don't, let's just try to do as many as we can um, without really influencing our form to turn bad or any pain. So let me know if there's a movement that doesn't feel right or you don't like how you're not sure if you're doing it correctly. We could try to correct that or find an alternative movement. Let's do trunk rotation. So left to right. So keep your feet flat, just rotating our torso. And let's go big hula hoops. Just big hip circles. Switch directions. Lap circles, so wide stance. Hips are fixed. We're gonna lean right and then bring our torso forward and then pump back. And just keep that back straight, come across. Very good. We're gonna do some standing hip openers. Okay, so just kind of working on our hip joint, our groin area. So we're gonna drive that knee up and then out and down. So it's also working on balance. So up, side, down. Switch. One more. Okay, let's go ahead and stretch our hamstrings. So for this one, keep your feet close together, slight little bend at the knees, and bring your hands down your legs, down your shins. Keep your, right. And once you're there, once you can't go any further, try to relax your breathing. Take some deep breaths. Straighten out those legs. All the way down straight. Deep breaths. Then let's go ahead and bring our glutes towards our heels. So grab your ankles, glutes towards your heels, and extend. And our last stretch is going to be our deep squat. So just wide stance, and then drop your hips as low as you can. And we'll just stay down here. You could shift your weight left to right. Very good. All righty. Yeah. So, like I said, let's go ahead and grab our dumbbells. So if you have a variety of it could be 5 pounds, six, anything less, or a little bit more. Go ahead and grab those. So we're gonna be working out our shoulders and our back first. Here. And so I'll give you another minute or so. So as mentioned, our first set is gonna be shoulder press, dumbbell shoulder press. That movement, and it's going to be a neutral dumbbell shoulder press. So usually this would be your typical shoulder press, but since it's neutral, we're going to have them right here, right in front of us and going forward. Okay, so you could do these standing up or sitting down. Sometimes if my back, especially my lower back, if it's a little sore, I'll do these sitting down. So I'm avoiding any tension or pressure on my back because this is meant to work out your shoulders, not your back. So we don't want to, if you're not feeling too hot, you can sit down. So that's gonna be the first movement, and we're gonna superset it with bent over rows, and that's gonna be you're gonna hinge at your hips, your back is nice and straight. You're here, and you're bringing your elbows to your side, and that one's meant to work out your back. Okay, so 2 rounds. Each round we're gonna do 10 repetitions. Okay, ready? So we start off here and begin. So exhale, inhale. Okay. So as you're exerting force, you're exhaling, you're recovering, your inhale. More for me. Bring those down. Recovery. So during strength and conditioning workouts, like I mentioned, we want to recover. So we'll have about 20 to 30 seconds rest. Our next one, remember, we're gonna hinging at your back here. You're just gonna bend over. You don't want to be arched. You don't want to have your shoulders here. You want to be back here. Okay, so from the front, we're gonna look like this. Have that motion. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Begin. So grab your dumbbells. We're here, and keep your head down as you're doing these. So arms, dumbbells should be getting close to your chest, and as they're getting away from you, your arms should be almost fully extended or fully extended. So exhale as your arms are going down. Inhale as they're coming up. So if you're feeling good, give me 12. Okay. All right. And if you have a variety of weights, then I would recommend on the next set increasing your weight a little bit more. So, right. So we're gonna go 20 seconds rest in between lifts, but then we'll go 50 seconds rest in between supersets. Okay. So we just finished a superset. Remember that those are group exercises. We have 30 more seconds, and we're gonna go back to the neutral shoulder press. Yeah, so we want to be recovered and rested because if we kind of eliminate the recovery time and we are doing the lifts with very little rest, usually what's going to happen is we're out of breath, our muscles aren't still recovered, so our form might change a little bit. And if we practice that, then that could trigger an injury. So we want to make sure that we're pretty recovered for these. All right, second set of shoulder presses. Have those dumbbells. We're here, and again, press. All the way up, all the way down. Dumbbell should be making contact with the shoulders on the way down. Give me 12 if you feel good. 12 right there. So I'm just tracking all my weights here. So that's why you'll see me going back and forth. We're gonna go back to the bent over rows. The same thing, if you have heavier dumbbells, you could always opt to increase the weight. So remember in this one, we're bent over, arms all the way down, arms come up. Okay, so you should feel that on your back. So when we go wide, you're gonna feel that on the outside of your back. When you go narrow, it's gonna be in the center. But right now we're going wide. All right, ready? And go. So 10 to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, done with the first superset. Okay, 20. Okay. So our next superset, we're gonna go ahead. This is also gonna be standing up. It's gonna be dumbbell reverse curl. So we're gonna have our dumbbells usually, or a curl. We'll have our dumbbells here and come this way. We're gonna work out our triceps a little bit more in our forearm. So this time we're gonna have the dumbbells, our palms facing behind us, and we're gonna come up here. Okay, for the dumbbells, and we're gonna superset that with reverse lunges. So reverse curls and then also reverse lunges. So I'm gonna have the dumbbells here. We're gonna step back and reset, step back and reset. If that lunge motion, I know sometimes it causes issues to the knee or imbalance. So if you don't feel safe doing that, what I want you to do is you're just gonna take a step back here, make sure that you feel safe, and you're gonna do this motion, okay, as well as you can. So that's gonna be our variation for our dumbbell reverse lunge, okay? All right, so let's go ahead with the curl. So grab your dumbbells. They're right here, and I usually like putting my thumbs for this one over the bar here, not around. So if that makes sense to you. So I don't like holding it like this. I like holding it over because that's gonna prevent your wrist from turning out. Okay, ready? Begin. So 10 to 12. 1. Yeah, if you wrap your thumb around it, you'll notice that the dumbbells tend to rotate. So right here, they're kind of going straight. So I put my thumbs around. They tend to turn slightly, and that's just because of the position of your wrist. So it's not very much, but it does rotate out a little bit more, and that's going to change the muscle group slightly a bit more. So 10 to 12. We're going to have some water nearby, 20 seconds rest. So reverse lunges, we're going to be doing 10 on each leg. So this one's going to take a little bit longer because it's going to be a total of 20. Okay, so grab those dumbbells, position yourself. So remember, you could do static or do the moving version. Okay, so let's try to do one leg at a time. So let's focus on our right leg first. Ready, begin. 1, 2. Inhale, exhale. So inhale on your way down, exhale on your way up. Did 10 on one leg, gonna switch to my left leg now. Ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, bring those down. 50 seconds rest. Yeah, so you'll notice for the arm movement, that first weight or the dumbbells you just had, maybe that made it challenging, but maybe for the legs, it was a little bit easy. So, yeah, so it helps to have different options of weight. So I'll probably go back to the same weight for the arms, but I'm going to add a little bit heavier weights for the legs for this next set. Okay. So have another 25 seconds. Just catch your breath. How's everyone doing so far? Good.
Good.
Karina, you have some dumbbells with you?
Yes, I
Oh,
have. I was switching between 5 and 3, but I recently got tens. But I think 10
good.
might be too much for the first one.
Yeah, yeah. So I have tens for the first one, and right now I'm feeling that burn, but for the legs, the tens are pretty comfortable.
I'll
So
probably do my tens for the lunges, but I'm gonna stick with my fives for the
yeah,
first one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes you could have like a 5 and a 7, and those could work out, or a 10. But then if you, sometimes like it's good to have that middle weight because as you get higher, there's some weights that just from 15 could be easy or comfortable, and then 20 is way too much. So it's good to have a variety.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting maybe some eights because I almost feel like threes don't do anything for
Yeah,
me. So
yeah.
yeah.
Especially for lower bodies, that's pretty light, but for the smaller muscle groups, you'll feel it.
Okay.
All right, ready? Here you go. So we'll go here. So 10 to 12. So one where I really notice a lift where that extra 2 pounds or 2 pounds less makes a huge difference. It's usually on front shoulder raises or side shoulder raises. And I'll demonstrate in a little bit. But those sometimes 5 pounds is too easy, and then 10 pounds is too hard. So you kind of need like a 7 or an 8. I think that's 10 right there. But those would be these here. So when you do those, like I said, fives could be fine. That's her first set. But tens could be a bit much. And yeah, but that's usually the one where I wish I had these adjustable weights. I know there's this company that sells little rings that weigh a pound, and you could wrap those around the side of your dumbbells, but they're also really expensive. So I don't know if it's worth I think it's $40 for like, 4 of those little rings. So, all right, here we go. So I have my heavier dumbbells. So again, remember, if you're feeling well, you could alternate. And what helps with alternating is that as you're switching, um, your other leg is recovering. So you get a little bit more recovery time in between. Just don't lose track of your counting here. 4. Right. Very good. That one I felt more. That one hit me a little bit more. I think going from 10 pounds to 20s, my body's like, what's going on? All right. So, okay, this next one, we're gonna go ahead and be on the floor. So grab your yoga mat. This one shouldn't be as taxing um aerobically, but it's still gonna work us out. Okay, so we're gonna be doing sit-ups or variations of sit-ups, and then also Jane Fonda's, which is gonna be hip abduction, working out the muscles on the side of our legs. Okay. All right, so the sit-ups, we're gonna aim for 40 seconds. So 2 variations. Let's get sit-up position here on the floor. You could do regular sit-up, try to go as high as you can. Remember, the goal is to lift your torso, your chest, shoulders off the ground. We're not just trying to lift our neck and our head off. And if that's a bit challenging, then you could do sliding sit-ups. So hands on your lap and just slide your hands towards your knees. And that still actually does the same motion. So it's just a little bit more controlled. Okay. All right, here we go. 40 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. You just slide your hands. And if 40 seconds is too much, try to give me at least 30. Take a little break if you have to. We're 20 seconds in. We're at 30. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, time. All right. Very good. All right, for our next one, it's gonna be our Jane Fondas. So for that, we're gonna do 10 Jane Fondas, and that's when we're laying on our side. And we're gonna go ahead and lift our top leg. We're just gonna lift it up and control it down, okay? If you have resistance bands, you could put these around your ankle or right around your knees too. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 on each side. Ready, begin. So it's controlled up, down, down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Once you're done with that side, we're gonna rotate. All right, ready, begin. Again, that's working out your adductors, abductors. Also one muscle group in physiology, one anatomy that I always confuse was abductors and adductors. Until this day, I still have a hard time. Lost count. I'm gonna do 2 more. Very good. 50-second rest. Ooh. For our next one, we're gonna go back to our crunches. We could do sit-ups, sliding sit-ups or crunches. Anything that's really activating your core. As long as we're doing that muscle group, I'm okay with. Whew. And remember, if there's a movement that just doesn't feel right, just communicate so we could find an alternative. I'm probably gonna do crunches on this next one. So if you want to follow along, crunches, it's just gonna have our legs elevated, do the same movement with our torso. All right, 40 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. So knees are right above my hips. About 15 more seconds. At 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Right, back to our Jane Fondas. Adductors. We'll start in 15 seconds. Remember, just slowly up and down. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. Switch sides. Give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Very good. We have 50 seconds. All right, we're gonna be back on our feet for the next superset. Okay. This is gonna be working out our chest and also our hamstrings. Okay. So we're gonna do dumbbell underhand front raises. So dumbbells here, we're gonna bring them up. Okay, so we're not doing a bicep curl, we're elevating at the shoulder and then back up. So we wanna elevate at our shoulder height and bring them back, going from the outside in. Okay, so that's gonna work out our chest. And then we're gonna superset that with our Romanian deadlift. So almost like the hamstring stretch we did earlier, dumbbells here, slide bend at the knee, bring the dumbbells down and back up. So again, that's a leg movement. So you might be able to lift heavier with your leg exercises than your upper body. So keep that in mind. Typically, we could lift a little heavier with our legs and our back compared to our arms, shoulders, and chest. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab those dumbbells. Underhand front raises, being 10 to 12. We're here. And forward. 1. To see how far they are away from each other here. And at the top, they're pretty much almost making contact. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay.
Okay, I lied. 3 pounds does feel like enough when I'm doing the like the outside ones.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
especially I
that's
had a shoulder injury too, so like can't really do
the
like super
yeah.
heavy.
Yeah, so if that's too heavy, what you could try to do is just find. So the threes are too heavy for you?
No, no, no. Like if I, because earlier I was saying, oh, threes don't do anything, but they
Oh,
do in this case.
yeah, anything that's far away from the body with the shoulders,
Yeah.
feels twice as heavy. Yep. So, all right, yeah, so it helps to have those light weights too. We have our Romanian deadlifts here. All right, so this one, slight bend at the knee, and just have the dumbbells close to your legs and up. So about count 3 seconds down. 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's not a fast movement. We want to feel the stretch on the back of our legs. So yeah, so it's always best to start off with the lighter weight. And then once you figure out or kind of feel how easy or challenging the lift is, then you could decide if you want to increase or reduce or stay the same with the weight. And there's going to be some days where you just wake up a little bit tight, or you didn't sleep right, or you didn't sleep enough, or eat well, or something. And yeah, there's some days where you might just lift a little bit heavier or lighter than, a different day. But usually, that could be corrected with a nice solid warm up. That's why I like spending at least 10 minutes of warming up. Let's do 3 more. Good stuff. With 50 seconds rest. Like I said, grab some water. Yeah, so I think best deals that you'll find for dumbbells Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, walk around your neighborhood. Maybe there's a yard sale. Someone has some old dumbbells. It's a good way to find something cheap because usually at the store you'll find dumbbells for about $1.50 to $2 per pound. So if you want a 10-pound dumbbell, it's gonna run you around $15, maybe 20. So you're better off yeah, just getting something cheaper. Go on OfferUp on the Nextdoor app. I don't know if Craigslist is still a thing, but I remember in college I used to go on Craigslist. All right, ready? Underhand front raise from here. 1, we're going for 12. 2, 3, 4. If your back starts aching a little bit, you can do a split stance. 5, 6, and it also prevents your torso from swaying. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Seconds rest. We're gonna go a little heavier on these. So I'm grabbing my 20s. Second set, so feet together, right at your side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 4. Yes. So sometimes I do a count of 4 on the way down and a count of 3 on the way up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna go for 12, 11, 12. Put them down. Good stuff. Looks like we have 2 to 3 more supersets left. All right, so this next one is gonna be a tricep extension. So it could be overhead. So you could be sitting down, dumbbell right here, holding one dumbbell with both hands and extending. Okay, having your elbows as close together as you can. Just make sure you're careful on not dropping that dumbbell on your back or on your neck. Or you could do a lighter dumbbell, bend over here, elbows at your side, and extend. Okay, that's gonna be the tricep extension. And then our inchworm is gonna be a hand walkout into a plank, okay? To a hand plank. So an inchworm would be this here. You kind of bend over, you crawl into a hand plank, and then you come back up and stand up, okay? So that one's gonna be for time. Or that one we're actually doing 10 of those. So we just gotta pace ourselves, okay? So let's go ahead. I think I'll start off with a tricep extension sitting down. So we're doing 12, 10 to 12 of those. Again, for that one, I'm here, and then I'm just extending. Okay, hopefully you guys are able to see that. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We get the inchworm. If you haven't done it, just be mindful. Make sure you're in a safe place where you can't slip or collapse. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And we're aiming for 10, but if 10 seems like too much, just try your best to do as many as you can. All right, ready? Begin. So again, just come down, hand plank, reset. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. Takes a little bit longer, but get you out of breath a little bit. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Whew. Doesn't matter how fit or how good in shape someone is, inchworms or burpees will always get people out of breath. Yeah. Ooh, how's that one, Karina?
I'm out of breath. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we usually on this workout we don't have many movements that will catch us out of breath, but that's one of them. But I think on the first 8 week term we had um what was it called? One of my classes was more of like a interval training, and that one you're pretty much out of breath, like catching your breath the whole class. Oh, and in those types of classes, you typically tend to burn more calories, which is good, and it's also good for mobility. So let's go back and do our tricep extension, and we're doing 10 to 12. Yeah, my heart rate went up on that one. We're here. Just be careful, not dropping that dumbbell, and extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, pace yourself, because here comes the one that catches us.
Is it okay to do those with like a medicine ball?
Um, so I usually have that one with the medicine ball. It's called a ball sprawl. So it has a different
Uh-huh.
name. So have you done that one before?
No. I just felt like I gripped the medicine ball. It's only an 8 pounder, but I just felt like I gripped it instead of like the dumbbell.
Oh, are you talking about the tricep extension?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that one, yeah, you could just do the same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
there'd be the same motion. So the other variation would be holding the dumbbells here and doing this motion, or you could. It takes a little bit longer, but you could support yourself with the chair. So hand on your chair, elbow here, and
And
extend.
out.
So usually, I suggest this one for folks that have some type of backache or need a little bit of back support, because sometimes this motion here or this position could arch the back and could be uncomfortable. Um,
Okay.
and then also, I thought you were talking about the medicine ball for the inchworm, but
Oh no, I can't add more to that.
yeah, so that one's a little bit more challenging, but usually what I have some of my clients do, it's called a ball sprawl. So they would go here, slam it, come out, reset, and then slam it and repeat. So I was like, oh man, she's trying to get after it on day one.
Well, no, I was actually that actually might feel like it's better for me. The inchworms are hard for me in coming back up.
Oh, I see.
Like my weight can go all the way down. I can do that, but it's
Yeah.
the inching my way back that just kills me.
Yeah, give it a shot. So yeah, so you could maybe come from here and go out and then come up. So you
Yeah.
can do like a reverse inchworm. So yeah,
Okay, I'll try that.
just staying active. All right, here we go. 10. Okay, go. Back, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Okay, so for the next one, I think you have some light weights. Those would help. We're gonna do the Poliquin lateral raises. So usually do these with like 8s or 10s, but yeah, light weights would work. We're gonna go with 5s on this one. I think I have an arm workout tomorrow, so I don't want to be too sore from that. And then we'll need a chair for the next one too. So the one we're doing the Poliquin, that's gonna be it's a multi-movement exercise. So we're gonna do a hammer curl, extend, extend, and here. Okay, so pretty much from the side, you're here, 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 here. Okay, and it's so 3 movements. It's compound movement. So we're gonna be doing 6 of those. Right? Actually, 8 of those. 3, 2, 1, go. So here, 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 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Okay. Next one we're doing, that's gonna be balance work. So it's gonna be a box squat. So pretty much no hands. Right here, just feet flat. And without using our hands, we're just gonna stand up and come back down. Okay, so we're doing 12 of those. Right, if that's a bit easy, you could do it. My returners know this one. Extend one leg and then come up and do 6 and 6. Okay. All right, so we're doing 6 and 6 or 12 of just a regular box squat. Ready? Begin. Well, 50-second rest. Yeah. Yeah, so Karina, if you're interested for the summer, it's 6 classes, and usually how they go, it's like a class like this on Mondays, then on Tuesday it'd be like a more interval training. So keeping your heart rate up. Then Wednesday would be like your easy, relaxing stretching class. And then it repeats again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with the lift, interval, and stretching. So that's kind of how the 6 classes run in the summer. And that goes for 10 weeks.
And those are 6 separate classes you'd have to sign up for, right?
Correct, yes. So,
Okay.
yep. Ready, Poliquin? There you go. And those would be, yeah, those begin at the end on the last Tuesday of May, and it ends, I think, on the 1st of August. So pretty much all of June and July. Keep track, I think two more here. I keep track of, my weight here and there. I used to do it almost every day, but my weight just fluctuates too much with a lot of meals. Um, but in the summer with all those classes, I noticed I would drop a little bit of weight because of, yeah, just being more active. 6 classes compared to the 2 during the regular academic year. But yeah, so just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. All right, back to our single leg. I'm gonna try the single legs here. So I'm gonna go 6 and 6. So again, just my right leg is gonna be extended, left leg is tucked in, and no hands. Come up. Just make sure that chair behind you doesn't slide. Okay. And if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself, just drag that leg, that heel a little bit closer to you, and make it a little bit easier. Right. 50 seconds rest. Okay, so our last set is just gonna be on the floor, and it's gonna be 4 movements. Okay, we're gonna do push-ups, glute bridges, Russian twist, and hip joint movement. Okay, and then after that we'll cool down and we'll be ready to go. Yeah, so just set up for our last superset, or this is a giant set. So superset is 2 exercises. Giant set would be 3 or more. This one's 4 movements. Again, push-ups, glute bridges, Russian twist, and the quadruped hip car. So still have. All right. So push-ups, you could do modified push-ups, you could do traditional push-ups, but let's try to do somewhere between 10 and 15. Okay, so go at your own pace. Like I said, modified, knee supported, any variation of push-ups you want to do. Ready? Begin. Then glute bridges. So glute bridges, you're here on the floor, almost like a sit-up. Bringing the hips off the ground, squeeze your glutes, and then back down. Okay, we're gonna do 12 of those. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Squeeze and down. Squeeze, down. 2. Squeeze, down. 3. Do two more. Okay. All right, and then we have our Russian twist. Okay. Remember Russian twist? We're here a little bit reclined back and we're just bringing our elbows behind our back, left and right. Okay, that one's gonna be for time. So you're aiming for 40 seconds. Okay, 40 seconds is too much, then just give me whatever you can. Okay, go. You have your heels elevated or just have them resting. 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right, so our hip car, this one we're pretty much just gonna be here on our floors. Okay, quadruped position. Your wrists right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips. We're gonna go out, back, up, and down. Okay, so from the side it looks like this. We're here. Yeah, okay, so pretty much we just want some movement around the hip joint. All right, we'll do 5 on each side. Ready, begin. Okay, switch. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Grab a chair. Let's just do some chair stretches right now. Good job. I'm gonna burn close to, my watch has me at close to 300 calories so far in this session. Just a little bit of stretching right now. And says earthquake detected.
Yep, and I'm
Oh, there it
feeling
is.
some.
There it is. Careful.
Yeah, I felt things swaying actually.
Yeah, got the detection and you could hear everything here in the garage. But so I'm about to rush inside and make sure Julian's okay, but wasn't too bad.
Earthquake.
Yeah, earthquake. So just prepare if there's any aftershocks. So let's sit on that left hand and that right hand over. Well, that was the first. We got a detected text before I actually felt it. I could hear the neighbors already outside. Let's switch. I wonder what it was. Let's- Performance. Let's bring that left ankle on that right knee. Looks like it was in Julian in San Diego. Bring that knee up. We're actually supposed to be there on. We're supposed to go there on Friday. Hopefully they're okay there. It's a nice little town. Which and slightly push down. Yeah. Folks. So that will do it for today. We will meet on Wednesday for our stretching class. So, Ben, any questions before we head out? No questions. If not, then I'll see you. Karina, questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Great. All right. So I'll see you folks on Wednesday. So yeah, no longer spring break. Spring break's done. So, all right, everyone. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Sarah. Bye, ladies. Bye, folks.